That very neatly leads me on to another issue which relates to hate symbols legislation. Since that legislation was enacted in January this year, has the AFP investigated any individuals for alleged offences, including displaying a prohibited terrorist organisation symbol?
I would have to take that on notice to give you a 100% accurate answer. I can think of one potentially off the top of my head, but if I can take that on notice, please.
Yep. Has anyone been charged?
Again, if I could take that on notice, so I'm giving you a 100% accurate answer.
Yep. Has the AFP already developed kind of internal guidance or directions about what's reasonably likely to constitute an offence under these provisions?
So certainly we did work very closely with the Attorney-General's Department when the offences first came online, and also closely with our state and territory counterparts, given that some of these offences, they may be the first law enforcement agency that receives the report or attends to an incident. So yes, there was a lot of preparatory work done.
Okay. Can that guidance be publicised in any way?
Again, I am happy to take that one on notice, and we'll assess the contents.
Yep. There have been a number of examples covered by the media, but also that have appeared on social media, of people at pro-Palestinian rallies, including in Melbourne, very clearly wearing Hamas logos and other things. These are logos which don't have a dual purpose. They're not ambiguous about what they represent. There are certainly some symbols here which, you can make a reasonable argument has a non-political or non-terrorist purpose, but people are literally wearing Hamas's logo at rallies, and I've also got some social media images which I'll seek to table with the consent of the committee of this being sold at rallies. You can buy a T-shirt, for example, with the Hamas logo on it. That seems to me to be a straight-up, transparent violation of the hate symbols legislation. Is that being investigated?
Look, I don't know the specific incident you're referring to as to whether that specific incident is being investigated. Sure. And as I've stated, we will come back to you on notice in relation to how many we have and are investigating. Of course, there is state and territory legislation in some states and territories as well around hate symbols, so it's always a case-by-case basis when there is a report of crime made to the AFP or where we identify potential offences. As I've said a number of times today, we do work with the states and territories in relation to what is the most appropriate legislation that may be available for the circumstances, noting that there is a number of proofs that need to be met under the legislation. Sure.
I mean, in these documents I'll provide to you through the committee, there are also images of people wearing the green headband of the Al-Qassam Brigades, again, an unambiguous statement of a terrorist organisation. It's the case, isn't it, that the Criminal Code not only now prohibits the display of listed terrorist organisation symbols, but also anything that could be likely to be confused or mistaken for that symbol. So it's not an excuse to, for example, subtly vary it in some way. If the intent conveyed, if it's obvious that it's intended to reflect a terrorist organisation, that's captured, isn't it?
That's my understanding. That's the intent of the legislation.
Yep. Okay. Thank you. Well, then, with the agreement of the committee, I'll table these documents, and you'll have access to them through that.
Thank you.